don't quite know. I'm going to change off to Spider-Man and Iron Man again, just because they're basically the best in the game on 45, my favourite suit in the game. Get on the stream quickly. There's a crime, but I'll sort that crime out first, and then we'll sort it out.
How about that?
I hope you weren't trying to assault.
Oh, thanks, buddy. Don't know what I'd do without my bag. It's all I have to my name.
Yeah, I'm aware, mate. Oh, wrong one. Yeah, we're on. Nice. Nice, we're on. We're on. Probably, again, might be a short stream tonight. I don't know. I am feeling fairly better, but at the same time, I would like to go over my lines just one more time before we actually start working on plotting tomorrow. Yeah. So I thought we'd do a short stream. We'll see. We might try to go for an hour today. I think yesterday I did about 40 minutes. I'd like to try and go at least an hour. At most, maybe an hour and a half. And I've decided to deliberately come on a bit earlier as well. Yeah, a bit of a disappointing day, to be honest. I've been really struggling with sleep the last couple of all year, basically. I don't want to go into why, but it's just been a really difficult year in terms of sleeping, and you know, there's been a lot that's gone on, and particularly like this week is going to be quite a rough one because of that. But yeah, I just thought I'd like come on and try and just focus on something that's different, and what better way than to just, I don't know, just wind down on stream really. I figured why not, might be fun to just put my energy towards something a bit more positive. But yeah, yeah. It's been quite fun. It's been quite fun. I love that sound. Yeah, I was talking yesterday about like what I think a next Lego like Marvel game should be. And whilst I do think just doing a third game, like original story, is a good idea, I feel like it would have to be like an experimental one, because I feel like TT Games have kind of moved away from doing original stories. You look at the last like couple of games they've done. In fact, I think the last one they did with an original story, and dare I say it, probably the best original story since the first Lego Marvel game, but was DC Supervillains. They did an original story, which I thought was really cool. Don't get me wrong, I thought that was a great story, having your own playable character. I thought that was great, but considering they've moved away from that engine now, you know, you've got, of course, Lego Batman, Legacy of the Dark Knight, you've had Star Wars, The Skywalker Saga. I feel like they're much more doing... I mean, Lego Batman is supposed to be an original story with different film elements, so I could be wrong. It could be the original stories are the way. Me, personally, I'd much rather see just like an Avengers game covering all the films. Well, I mean all of them. I would personally include New Avengers and Thunderbolts there. Thunderbolts and Civil War there, because Thunderbolts is technically an Avengers film, albeit not in the way that we think as is the New Avengers, but I still think it gives it that sort of right to be called that. Thunderbolts is great. Hello, Subset in the City. Hope you're doing alright, mate. Yeah, I agree. I love Thunderbolts. I actually got a little bit teary-eyed in it. I thought it was a fantastic film. And I was very glad to see how well received it was as well, because there was a lot of characters in it that I really do care about, like Yelena and Bucky, and just seeing them get their moment was awesome. I really enjoyed it.
Successful dirty deal in the bag.
But yeah, it was really good. But Civil War, in my opinion, is a Captain America film through and through. I mean, it's titled Captain America: Civil War. However, it bears the weight of an Avengers story. It's a very like Avengers core storyline, and I feel like any game that was to cover all the Avengers films, Civil War is a must-have, because you've got to look at how do you get the jump between Age of Ultron and Infinity War, and the answer is you don't. You have to include Civil War as part of that process, otherwise you're missing arguably the most significant chunk of the story, because that entire chunk not only sets up Infinity War as a whole, but it also details how they lost against Thanos in Infinity War. So, I mean, personally, I feel like Civil War it has the weight of the Avengers, and also bearing in mind the two leading actors, well, Captain America, who's the main of the film, but also Iron Man, who they're both the leaders of the Avengers. It's like that you can't. That storyline is too big to ignore them. And it's one of my favourite films, to be fair. I wouldn't, personally, I would struggle putting it above The Winter Soldier. I think The Winter Soldier is just the best, like, non-Avengers level movie. My thoughts on this change all the time, but Winter Soldier and Ragnarok, for me, are two of the absolute best, out of, like, the standalone stories. I just think it's incredible. Like I adore it. It's such a good film.
I can cancel that chiropractor appointment.
But yeah, I'd quite like to
If we keep working this well together, maybe Fury will finally let me have that fish tank.
I can't bother doing that. I've already done it. Truthfully, I'm not actually that bothered about 100% completing this game. I just want to get all the characters. I'm still missing. Oh no, never mind. I'm missing a few. Yeah, I'm missing a couple. There's a few that I just haven't got, but oh well. But yeah. What was I saying? Plus, with the next two Avengers films, you're getting back all of those characters that we lost in the other two Marvel games, like the X-Men, the Fantastic Four. You can take the plunge and add Deadpool and Wolverine characters. I mean, to be fair, Channing Tatum's returning as Doomsday as Gambit, so you know you can't ignore Deadpool and Wolverine just because it's R-rated. And I'm going to be honest, it's a brilliant film. Like I thoroughly enjoyed Deadpool and Wolverine. A bit biased there, I can't lie, because I do love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I think he's probably the best casting ever for a Marvel for a Marvel character, and that is including the different Spider-Men and how well they've done. I just feel like you can't go wrong with Hugh Jackman. Plus, I love him as an actor and as a person. The guy is in my opinion the greatest example of a triple threat. I mean, technically speaking, he's even more than a triple threat because he can fight, he can sing, he can dance, he can act, he can do it all on stage, do it all on screen, do it all. He can do everything, and it's actually like, it's kind of like a role model of what actors want to do. It's brilliant, and he's such a good person with it as well. Like, he's such a lovely person, and I absolutely adore the bloke. I don't care if he's like 2 foot taller than how big Wolverine's supposed to be. I don't care. The beauty of it is that because these characters are constantly being interpreted in different ways. You can have a tall Logan, you can have a short Logan, and I mean, they even made a homage to the Short King in Deadpool and Wolverine, which I thought was so funny. Like, that, in my opinion, was probably the cleverest thing they could have done, because the only recast cameo they did was Henry Cavill. We didn't get like a, oh, what if Daniel Radcliffe played him? What if Taron Egerton played him? It's like,
Where is everyone?
it's not funny if you keep doing it. The Henry Cavill one, I think, worked. And also, it was quite bittersweet, given the way Henry Cavill was treated over Superman. So, I didn't mind it, and it's not like he's going to take over as the Wolverine after Secret Wars. You know, I just feel like... And speaking... I kind of wish I was playing the first game now, so I can just play as Wolverine, but speaking of Wolverine, I personally don't think they should recast him after Avengers Secret Wars in 2027. I would much rather see Daphne Keane take over as the leading Wolverine figure. Yes, that means Wolverine is now a girl, but I don't know, that can really upset some people because they're small-minded and probably have very minuscule willies. But Daphne Keane is such a good actor, such a good actress. She plays that feral sort of she plays that ferocity incredibly well. Ever since Logan, her very first acting role, and she just carries that. She carries the claws so bloody well. I'd love to see her in a Wolverine-esque costume. I'd love seeing it in the like the black X-23 costume first. Personally, make her earn that Wolverine title, much like Hugh Jackman himself did. But I don't know. I just feel like she'd be the right fit because she's been established. You know, we know her as an audience. We know her story. We know her legacy, and it's almost honouring Hugh Jackman more because of the fact that she is, in theory, she is Wolverine's daughter. And rather than seeing a new Wolverine, why don't we see, you know, because and the thing is as well, Hugh Jackman has been playing the character for 25 years, right? 25 years he's been playing that character, quarter of a century. How do you go about recasting a character after that long? It's the same thing with the likes of Robert Downey Jr. Hey, I don't think my comments are going through. Oh, okay. That's weird. Let me change my accounts. I'm streaming this on my main channel, but I observed the comments on my premium, so I'll see. So I'll see what is up with that, because that is not normal for me. Yeah, I'm really sorry. I don't know what's happening there. I really don't know. That is weird. I don't like that. I don't like that. If you want, I'm not going to get arsey about repeat comments. If you want, try and enter them again, because I'm not going to complain about someone, you know, it's okay, mate. Yeah, I'm not going to complain about someone typing the same comments, especially if I'm not seeing them. So if you do want to enter like, any of the comments you made again, then just go for it. But I'll keep an eye on that, because that's weird. I don't know what that's about, because I've never had that issue before. But then again, yesterday was quite weird, because for some reason my stream wasn't showing up, so I had to stop the stream and redo it. But yeah, that was a weird one. Who's getting mugged? Oh, they're underneath it. Be right back, mate. Okay, mate, no problem. No problem at all. No problem, mate.
Thanks. Those guys don't fight fair.
Sweet moves. Now I'll know what to do if I ever run into a certain Asgardian mischief maker.
Yeah, that's my kind of thoughts on X-23 taking over as the main Wolverine for the post-Secret Wars MCU, which I feel like is going to be mostly recast. I saw recently that Patrick Stewart is potentially retiring after Doomsday, and Doomsday is his final acting role. If that's the case, I'm going to bawl like a baby, and I'm going to scream with an unbridled amount of rage if they kill him off again. X-Men: The Last Stand. Okay, fine. They retconned it. Okay. Logan, his death in Logan was so sad. It was devastating. So, I'm kind of I made peace with that, despite it being such a heartbreaking and very violent end. With that being said, Multiverse of Madness, I was like, okay, this is kind of dumb, bringing back Patrick Stewart just to die again. You're bringing him back again in Doomsday, and hopefully Secret Wars. Probably not, because he's already said, do not kill him in Secret Wars for Christ's sake, or Doomsday for Christ's sake. Just let him retire. Again, Patrick Stewart, he's a slightly different case because we've seen a recast for Professor X. We've seen James McAvoy take over, and he did a fantastic job. He did a brilliant job as Professor X. I actually watched X-Men First Class for the first time this year, and I can't lie, I really liked it. I don't think it was perfect. There was some pacing issues with the film, and I didn't like the way they did Emma Frost, personally. Emma Frost is a very strong character, and I feel like they kind of subsided her a little bit in First Class, so I wasn't really a fan of that. And also, the continuity made no sense whatsoever. I feel like it was supposed to be an X-Men prequel, and that's what I was sold as at the start of the film. However, I just feel like it kind of missed the mark a little bit, and there were too many contradictions between, the movie and then the original trilogy, which I refer to that as the original trilogy. Days of Future Past was a good film. I enjoyed Days of Future Past. I just didn't like the ending, and it looks like if they can kind of justify it with that ending leads to what we see in Doomsday, then I think that'd be fine. In that case, it becomes a massive part of the chronology. But I don't know. I'm kind of hoping that Marvel will do a thing where they sit everyone down and explain what the timeline order is, because it's very hard. I mean, it's safe to say that the universe that Monica Rambeau ended up in is 10005, which is where Deadpool and Wolverine are currently residing, which is where they might filter into things. Because I know there's been a lot of reports saying that Ryan Reynolds is back, and obviously Ryan Reynolds himself posted quite a cryptic image on Instagram with the Anarchy Avengers logo, which was used in Deadpool and Wolverine, but it's a different color. So I don't know if that's just a little nod to the art design. Sorry, I got hiccups. Or it's a setup for a return. I don't know. I don't know at all. I hope it's a case that he's back with Wolverine. At the same time, though, I wouldn't complain if Wolverine doesn't have as big of a role in Doomsday, so that Cyclops can get his moment at last, and then do Hugh Jackman as Wolverine as like a leading role in Secret Wars. Maybe him and like Tobey Maguire like team up with the likes of Chris Evans, Captain America, and what's his name? I forgot his name. I'm literally playing as him. RDJ as Iron Man / Doctor Doom. I don't know. That's what I want to see personally. I want to see the original Marvel Legends lead Secret Wars, just because it feels like it's kind of bringing the story full circle. Like this, to me, it sounds like it's going to be the end of the Marvel multiverse as we know it. It could be the last time we see Andrew Garfield and Tobey Maguire. I mean, I didn't expect to see them again after No Way Home, but when Secret Wars was announced, I was like, oh no, come on, make that be a final out and make them like team up with characters that we've all known. It's going to be difficult because of how big those films are going to be, and bearing in mind they've got to make a big profit. Like, in order for Doomsday to be successful, I genuinely think it's going to have to beat Avatar. I hope I'm wrong, but like the film's going to be that expensive to make, and especially paying all these actor salaries and all of these different like characters and just all this crazy stuff. Like you can't afford to flop. You just can't afford to. It's not feasible. Also, one other thing I would like to see in Secret Wars, and it's ironic because I'm flying right to it now. Bring back the Statue of Liberty as like a battle point one last time, because I feel like I saw a theory on New Rockstars and I love it. It's a really cool theory. It's basically like, what if the Statue of Liberty is actually like an anchor point to like sort of pinpoint which universe you're at, because of the fact that so many like major battles have happened there. And obviously Kevin Feige, when he first started in in Marvel, he set the final battle of X-Men, and of course No Way Home nearly over 20 years later. I just feel like it'd be the right place to kind of use it as a bit of a capping off point. Like, it started there, it should finish there as well. Have the likes of the Spider-Men and like fighting there one last time against maybe against Doom. Against Doom, have them fight Doom. I want to see, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield fight Doctor Doom as much as Tom Holland. I think Andrew Garfield needs to earn his he needs to get his alien. Give Andrew Garfield an aliens fight, just because, I think that'd be quite cool. Be a nice little callback to No Way Home in a way. Give him an alien. Don't know who. Just give him any. Oh, this guy's stealing. Okay. There you are.
Sweet moves. Now I'll know what to do if I ever run into a certain Asgardian mischief.
I feel like a game, to be fair, you'd look at like 300 playable characters. There's that many Marvel characters in the roster that you just a game. I mean, these games have been really good in the fact that they've had so many iconic characters. I just feel like they kind of, because of the whole rights problems, they didn't have the characters you really wanted to see. You had your Avengers, you had your like Avengers tie-in characters, and then you had a couple of Spider-Men and the Guardians, and that was it. Like, and the Guardians, don't get me wrong, I love them. That they are probably, I would say, one of my favourite teams in the Marvel universe. I think, as much as I love the Fantastic Four, they have not made the same impact the Guardians of the Galaxy did, and that's okay because they've only had one film to shine. Once the next two Avengers films are out and they've made more of an impact, give them their next two films as well. And I understand it's going to be very different for the Fantastic Four, because when the Guardians finally met the Avengers in Infinity War, they'd already had two films, whereas this time the Fantastic Four have one film and then they're meeting the Avengers, so they've really got to sort of make their mark quite quickly, which will be quite difficult, but at the same time I think it's going to work. I love the Fantastic Four. I genuinely think they are one of the greatest teams in all of like fiction. I think they're an amazing like family unit, but if you look at the Guardians of the Galaxy and their impact during the Infinity Saga and Guardians 3, they, in my opinion, they serve the role that the Fantastic Four would have had if they had the rights from the get-go. I feel like the Guardians of the Galaxy were the Fantastic Four of the Infinity Saga, so I kind of see that they've got, they don't really have a room to play in now. Which is okay, to be fair. It's okay. Like, I don't really mind it as such, because the Guardians, they've told a beautiful story, and I'm so happy with how that story was, and particularly what that story meant to me as a person. Like, I grew up with the Guardians just as I did with the Fantastic Four. I was younger when I first saw the Fantastic Four, but I remember going to see the Guardians film in the cinema with my brother all the way back in 2014, and then jump forward to 2023 and boom, you've got an amazing trilogy with an amazing crossover, two amazing crossover events in between. You got a holiday special. You've got, a couple of, appearances here and there. It was beautiful. Like, it was such a beautiful trilogy. And James Gunn, to be fair, I know he's jumped ships now, but he really made something special with that. And ultimately, that is why I am giving DC another go. I've not actually watched Superman yet, but I am going to watch it because I want to see how James Gunn does it. I used to be a huge DC fan. Anyone who's watched the channel for years will know that. With all like the Telltale stuff and all the stuff that DC have made over the years, like I've genuinely loved it. With that being said, though, I feel like I've got to give James Gunn a chance, despite all the recent crap that DC have been putting out in terms of their movies. Like, they just haven't been that good, in my opinion. So I've just kind of not bothered with it as such. But yeah, in terms of like hub worlds for this game, for like an Avengers game, I call it personally, I call it the Avengers: The Complete Saga. That's the name I sort of give it. But at the same time, I feel like where's it going with this? I feel like you can kind of title it whatever. I personally call it Avengers: The Complete Saga, and then include all the characters from the other movies, all of the movies, all the villains, all the heroes from the films, even the ones that aren't explicitly in the Avengers film. Just make it like a sequel to this game, but like 1,000 times bigger. Oh god, I didn't think this through. I don't know where to go. We'll go Washington, because I'm playing as Captain America, and yeah. Right, I really hope I don't get copyright strike. Sorry about the lag. This stream might get flagged because of having Danny Elfman's Avengers score. This is pretty cool, I can't lie. Having Sam Wilson as Captain America. I have mixed feelings about Brave New World. I liked some of the things it did. I was also very underwhelmed and disappointed by other things. The biggest thing I didn't like was, ironically, Isaiah's story. Because I loved Isaiah in Falcon and the Winter Soldier, but imprisoning him again, I didn't like it, personally. Oh, this is a horrible place for a big fig to roam around. Oh, I didn't think this through. I just wasn't a fan of how they handled Isaiah. Especially because there's so much history with that character. I wanted to see how that history... I just wanted to see... I wanted to see the fight with the Winter Soldier. That would have been a massive thing to show. Especially how him and Bucky met after Bucky came back from the land of the Winter Soldier. I just didn't like what they did with him, personally. And I didn't like the fact that it was basically a Hulk film without the Hulk in it. The Hulk should have been the villain, or should have been in the film. I'd rather have seen the Hulk in Brave New World than Brand New Day. But yeah. Other than that, I didn't really mind it. There was some things I really liked. I thought Red Hulk looks sick. Red Hulk looks so cool. I didn't understand how Sam was meant to go toe-to-toe with him, given the fact that, one's a Hulk and the other one just has vibranium armor. At least with Steve Rogers, he had the super soldier serum to justify at least being able to withstand a punch from the Hulk, from the Red Hulk. In fact, it kind of reminds me of the Ultimate Avengers movie that came out, the animated one. I think that's like during the 2000s. It was like an animated movie based off of the Ultimates comic books with the Avengers versus the Hulk. That is such a cool... because as much as the Hulk is an Avenger, I feel like he's that dangerous. It naturally makes sense for there to be occasions where the Avengers have to fight him and calm him down. it happened in Earth's Mightiest Heroes. It happened, you know, it's such a like an obvious move to make because of the fact that, you know, he is such a brutal guy. That is not Abraham Lincoln. I've actually been here. Like, I've actually been to this entire part in Washington. It's actually the reflecting. Oh yeah, I've been here. It's sick. And then of course you've got the White House, which I don't know why they didn't. I just assumed they weren't allowed to actually depict the White House as a place you could enter. I assume it's because of the risk of idiots like doing quite dodgy stuff there, and they don't want to feature that in their games, which I understand, to be fair. But the White House ultimately is where most of this stuff happened. Oh, imagine Nightcrawler back in the... Oh, that scene from X2 was so good. I hated the fact that he basically did nothing else for the rest of the film. It was a very good film, don't get me wrong. I loved X2, it's probably my favourite of the trilogy. But at the same time, I was quite underwhelmed, really. This is so tedious, just... Yeah. They actually have released another Hulk Big Fig since, with a Brave New World set. I was very tempted to buy it. I was very tempted, but I just decided not to because I saw the other sets Marvel were releasing, and obviously as a student, and particularly back then, I was kind of just floating around with not any income coming in. I just thought, hey, this is a really cool set. But there were other sets I wanted more. I kind of hope they use that Red Hulk piece again, just because I know it's just going to shoot on the secondary market. And plus, I am interested in buying the new Age of Ultron diorama with the Hulk and Red Hulk. No, not the Hulk and Red Hulk, with the Hulk and Hulkbuster. So to add the Red Hulk into the mix would be pretty cool. Because unfortunately I will likely miss out on the Age of Ultron diorama, which I'm sad about because I really like that set. I really like that set. It's a very cool diorama. In fact, I'd say it's one of my favourites. I just wanted the Endgame one more because it had characters which I don't have currently. Like I used to have a Black Panther and a Scarlet Witch, but those figures, unfortunately, they got lost in my move a few years ago. But I do intend to add more to that, like I did with my No Way Home one. I actually want to make some videos on my Lego set upgrades. If anyone's interested in them, I'll do it. But at the same time, I'm just, you know, just cautious in case it gets rinsed. But that's just a me thing, really. Let's go for Sentry.
One more person, they'll keep calm and carry on.
What are you gonna do?
What smash things up, and someone else will have to clean up. Yeah, that'll be good.
What do you mean the price doesn't include tax?
Sorry about that, I am back. I think I spoke a little bit, fair bit yesterday about my newfound interest in Sentry. Very good character. I really hope that he gets used more frequently in the next saga. Thing is, though, I'm interested to see what they're gonna. Right, I want to change planets, but okay. We're gonna go back to space, so you're gonna hear the Avengers theme again for a minute, which I don't want to show because I don't want you guys to hear, because as sick as it is, I don't want the stream getting flagged. Let's go to South Africa. Nice. That's a pretty cool place. I do kind of hope that if we get another one, that Wakanda, it's just a full-on playable map, like open world, because Wakanda in the MCU looks absolutely beautiful. It was why I was a little bit disappointed at first with the... I love the first Black Panther, don't get me wrong, but I actually wish more of it took place in Wakanda. Like, I wouldn't have minded if the whole film took place in Wakanda. And that's why I like Wakanda Forever a lot, because most of the film, I'd say about 90% of the film, takes place in Wakanda. Well, I mean, you kind of you'd hope for that, considering the film is called the Wakanda Forever. But yeah, it's a very good film. I love the Black Panther films, particularly. In fact, speaking of which, we are going to get the legend up. Very beautiful music here. Where is he? There he is. Here he is. God rest Chadwick. I know it's been 5 years this year, but it doesn't make me miss him any less. I'm actually devastated. Even to this day, I'm so devastated by the fact he's gone. He's just such a good actor, and he made Black Panther an instant classic. Like, from his first appearance in Civil War, he made Black Panther an all-time favorite. Like, it was such a quick like turnaround. Everyone went from, oh yeah, Black Panther's pretty cool, to no, this guy was perfect. I honestly think that in the 4 films that he did, I think his acting abilities showed that he was born to play Black Panther, and ultimately I feel like his work had the same sort of, like, longevity as for likes of Iron Man and Captain America. He never missed the mark. He just never once missed the mark with any of his performances as Black Panther, and I really am gutted that he's gone. Black Panther Wakanda Forever was a great movie, and it's an even better tribute, but ultimately I just feel like that you could tell like his presence was there, but he wasn't, and it was devastating. But at the same time, I'm glad that Chadwick's no longer in any pain, because as someone who's known many people who have fought cancer, it's a devastating thing to go through, and I wouldn't wish it on my own worst enemy. But yeah, God rest Chadwick Boseman. Yeah, I'm hoping, because I know there's a couple of Black Panther games on the way. I know there's one, I think there's one by EA, and then there's Marvel 1943. Sorry for not being exact, mate. Don't apologise, it's all good, mate. It's all good. It's all good, buddy. Like, to be fair, this stream was very, like, last minute planned. RIP shout, yeah, I agree, mate. I couldn't agree more. And the thing that inspired me the most when news broke out that he died was hearing that he filmed all 4 of his MCU appearances whilst battling colon cancer. Civil War, Black Panther, Infinity War, and Endgame. Like, and bearing in mind 3 of those films are actually the ones I've been talking about in terms of, like, their sort of impact on the Avengers story. To me, Black Panther, he's a proper warrior. I agree. He will be just as iconic as any of the Avengers. He's such a legendary character, and I'm really hoping that rather than recasting the character, they really go to town with his son. Because at the end of Wakanda Forever, obviously they confirmed that T'Challa has a son. I thought that was a great twist. Some people said it was a bit of a cop-out. I personally disagree under the circumstances. If it had been that Chadwick, didn't pass away and he was still written out, then I guess. But ultimately, I feel like it was the best way to honour the character and the mantle. Because I think Shuri's done really good as Black Panther. She was great in the movie. I know she had a lot of the actress Letitia Wright had a lot of controversy on set, which I don't agree with, especially during the time it was, you know, it's being filmed and all that stuff. Like, I don't agree with that kind of behavior whatsoever, but at the same time, she definitely, you know, she made it right with an incredible performance as Black Panther. And ultimately, I really hope that the story of the third Black Panther film is all about her training T'Challa Jr. What, Toussaint? I'm going to refer to him as T'Challa Jr. just because I feel like that's a bit more beautiful. Although Toussaint is a wonderful name. You know, I personally hope that what happens is that she focuses on training the next Black Panther, and then he eventually takes back the throne from M'Baku. I thought it was a really clever move giving M'Baku the throne, because in the comic books he is a Black Panther villain, very outdated and, to a fair standard, an inappropriate name he has in the comic books, is why they've dropped it for the movies. For those who don't know, his name in the comic books is Man-Ape, and I just feel like it's just outdated, isn't it? I just don't think it works. And plus, M'Baku is a very strong name in its own right, so I feel like that's got enough to headline a role, other than having an additional alias. But yeah, I thought making him the King of Wakanda will hopefully bring about an eventual villain arc. That's why I'm really hoping he actually survives for the next two Avengers films, just so we can see that. I mean, there's a lot of characters I think are going to die in Doomsday in particular. I think Doomsday is going to kill off a lot of MCU fan favourites. Some are going to be devastating, others I think are going to be quite honouring, hopefully. The biggest death I foresee in Doomsday is... Where is he on here? There he is. Ant-Man. I think his time's up. Personally, I think he should have died in Quantumania, but given that he survived and the fact that they've ditched the Kang storyline, I think, alright, it makes sense to do it in Doomsday instead, because it's kind of a... he's kind of carrying Doom's element of surprise, because Doom may catch wind of the fact that Ant-Man had an experience with Kang the Conqueror. Even if they don't mention him by name, Ant-Man's going to be slightly on edge, given what happened with Kang. So the Avengers might prepare themselves for Kang, and then boom, out of nowhere, Doom comes out. Maybe having killed Kang off screen, and then, you know, you've got... I don't know. I just feel like there's plenty of opportunities there. Yeah, here we can see Ant-Man and Black Panther, two incredible members of the Avengers. I also quite like them because of the fact that before the MCU, my favourite take on them was Earth's Mightiest Heroes. So to kind of have them as like the in the movies, it just takes me back to those days. Earth's Mightiest Heroes was my MCU before the MCU actually began. Like, I loved that show. I loved it. That and Spectacular Spider-Man, like, they were the best Marvel TV shows in my opinion, especially for my like sort of age range. I did like the Fantastic Four one as well. The one, I think it was World's Greatest Heroes, I think they were called. I don't know, they had a really cool like intro, and they look quite sick, I can't lie. Pretty cool costumes. But, yeah. Well, yeah. I just feel like Ant-Man's time is up in the MCU. I don't see it. Yeah, you see the name I was referring to. I just don't see him having much more left to do in the movies. I think he had a really good run. He was a key player in Endgame. They've done it. They've done it with Ant-Man. I think now's the time just to let him go. Let him go and let him, retire. Ant-Man will probably be a background character now. I kind of hope so. I think he's had his trilogy. He was in Civil War. He was in Endgame. He's had a pretty major run. I feel like if he has like a heroic death, then that'll be quite a fitting end. And plus, I feel like Doom, in order to establish himself as a proper threat, he needs to take out someone big. I don't see it being Thor. I don't see it being, like any of the Fantastic Four. But I do see him taking out Ant-Man, who's been in the MCU now for over a decade. 11 years as of next year. Which is ironically the same amount of time that RDJ was playing Iron Man for. Obviously, it could be that he comes back to play a variant of Iron Man and Doctor Doom. I don't really know, but I'm interested to see what they do, because I love Iron Man, I love Doctor Doom. If they're in the same film, I'm not going to complain. I'm quite simple like that. But I feel like Ant-Man would be a strong... he'd be a very strong... kill for Doom. Given the fact that he was so important in the older films. But yeah, I feel like there's gonna be some massive plot twists. I just really hope that the X-Men aren't killed off. I'd be very upset if that was the case. I want to see. I know they're being recast and rebooted post Secret Wars, but I want to see these original X-Men get their moment, because they had a horrible experience with Bryan Singer. Even if some of the films were actually pretty good, at least the first one and the second one. And I mean, I enjoyed The Last Stand. I do think it had its problems though. It wasn't perfect by any means, and there were some really cool moments in The Last Stand. I quite liked, obviously, Magneto ripping out the Golden Gate Bridge. That, in my opinion, is one of the best X-Men moments ever. And also, you had some beautiful performances from Ian McKellen and Sir Patrick Stewart and Hugh Jackman, of course. But ultimately, I think the X-Men should be kept alive. I think, rather than killing the Fantastic Four, seriously traumatizing them might be a good setup for their storyline. I really want to see them do Malice. I really want, and that's not just from playing Marvel Rivals, but seeing the little snippets of Malice in Vanessa Kirby's performance. I think she would be an incredible Malice. I really hope they do it, either in the second or most likely third film. I think the second film they should really do Annihilus and the Negative Zone, and then the third film they home in on Malice and the relationship with Franklin Richards and all that. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping for. Yeah, should we go back to New York? Let's go back to New York. I don't really want to keep going to space because of the music that keeps playing, but hopefully YouTube won't bollock me for it. Let's go back to New York. I have a drink with my water. I've got water today. I'm behaving myself. I actually forgot my goodie drink. Left it. Well, I say I left it. I didn't buy one in the shop, so I've just got water. My throat's really dry today, so.
We're getting reports of some trash in your area that needs to be taken out. As in, criminals.
That's very nice. Yeah, thanks, man. Thank you. Thank you. Um, Staying healthy, mate. Yeah, yeah. I mean, I do prefer a fizzy drink, but to be fair, water it's free, or at least it's not free, but it's the best option. And my rent covers my water bill anyway, so it's like, well, technically, by not, you know, cleaning and showering and drinking water and using water for different stuff, technically, it's just wasting my rent. That's my sort of outlook on it. But yeah. Oh, by the way, I did see. I'm going to kind of change off Marvel for a bit. I'm not convinced that it's going to be Jack that slaps, that punches Max at Christmas time. I'm not convinced. Just because Cindy's there as well. If it is Cindy, I'm going to be disappointed. I want it to be Jack. Because personally, I think Max and Jack have got stuff to fight about. You know, the treatment of Lauren, Oscar, Jack's affair with Stacy. I feel like Max is going to be really bitter over that. You know, I just feel like a fight between Max and Jack would be ideal. But because Cindy's going to be there, I think it's possible that Cindy will hit Max at the christening, which I'm very upset about if that's true. I'll be very annoyed if that happens. Because I don't really... When it comes to, like, scenes of women hitting men, unless it's in, like, an action movie where, you know, they're fighting for their lives, I don't really get as excited over a fight breaking out, just because I don't really support the idea of men and women hitting each other. If like, you're going to hit someone that's the same sex as you. But that's just my personal opinion. God forbid I say that too loudly, because I still think I'd get cancelled for it, despite having quite a normal opinion. But oh well. I hope it's Jack and Max, not Cindy and Max that fight. And also, I want to see a full-on fight between them. I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. Back to Marvel for a sec, though. This suit needs to appear in a movie one day. Superior Iron Man looks so freaking cool. I need to see Robert Downey Jr. in the Superior Iron Man suit. Whether it's a variant, whether it's whatnot, I don't care. I don't care. It's just so cool. It's such a cool suit. I want to see him I want to see two variants of Iron Man. One in like the Mark 85 and one in like the Superior Iron Man suit. Because that's a suit I personally tend to use. I use the Mark 85 in Rivals, but I just think it would be really cool to see the Mark 85 and the Superior Iron Man go head to head. Bearing in mind the Superior Iron Man has got the ability to withhold the Infinity Stones. Yeah. But yeah, back to EastEnders quickly. I really hope it's not Cindy that slaps Max. I really hope not. I'd be so... Do it in the Vic. Do it in like the after, like, I don't know, like after party of Jimmy's christening, and then the actual on location scenes have it be that Jack and Max have had a bit of a scrap. Because everyone's saying it's Max and Jack. I'm just not convinced. I want to be proven wrong. This is one of those few occasions, especially when it comes to EastEnders, that I actually want to be proven wrong. And have it be that Max and Jack have fought it out. I mean, obviously it's an easy win for Jack. I mean, no offense to Max, but he's got no chance. He's got absolutely no chance fighting beating his brother in a fight. Right. Got some in my eye.
Cancel that chiropractor appointment.
Wouldn't want to get it more because you've just beaten up.
Underestimated. I just have to say that I never thought you'd be able to do that in a million years.
Also, I doubt they'd ever used for the old helmets, even though I do. No, the new ones are growing on me a bit. I'm just too used to the old ones. This would be an amazing minifig. I heard that there's a new Lego book coming out. I don't think they're going to do another Iron Man because of the fact that Iron Man's already appeared in one of the books, and it was not long ago. But if they were to do another Iron Man, do the superior one, because the costume looks so cool. His suit looks so cool, and honestly, I just think it would be such a cool, like, piece of merchandise to have. You know. But yeah.
I finally figured out how to communicate using this hologram table thing. Somehow, I got it stuck on Morse code. Anyway, keep an eye out for trouble in this area.
Hey, I hope you weren't trying to assault a police officer.
Apologies, I've there you are. The flight controls are definitely a lot better in this game than they are in the first and the second one. I don't know what happened because with the second one it just feels so rigid. Like in this game they actually fly up, rather than just flying forward but just going up. If that makes sense. I haven't brought my second game with me to uni. I've only got this one and the first game, but I don't know. I just don't like it as much. Inward. This one. Avengers facility. One reason why I'd love to see a new game, particularly, is just so we can have like more updated versions of Cap and Iron Man, but also to see Steve finally not look like he's just wearing a spray-on helmet. Like, I really like the new helmet piece well, I say new, it's been around for like 6 years now, but the helmet piece that Captain America now comes with, rather than it just being a printed head.
Why am I saying that out loud?
But yeah, and also give him some like leg detailing, because it just looks like he's wearing like a jumpsuit, or like a spandex costume with like no leg detailing. It looks pretty rubbish if you ask me. Yeah. I mean, this is how Marvel minifigs used to be in the day, especially when I was collecting them at the start. But they're getting better now. They are slowly improving. They're still pathetically lazy on Captain America minifigs. Like, the fact that I've had to upgrade both my Age of Ultron and my Endgame Captain America minifigs is kind of ridiculous, if you ask me. And you might say, oh, you don't need to upgrade it. No, I want them to look good.
Check out some retro shield technology.
I want them to look good. I want them to look like, you know, premium, well-detailed minifigs, because Lego collecting is expensive, but it's also very space-consuming. So for me, minifigures, the reason why I collect them is because they're easy to collect a lot of. You know, you might have room for like, I don't know, 2 sets, but those 2 sets, that could be like 10 to 20 minifigs. They're tiny, and I think they're fun to collect. So that's why I enjoy collecting them so much. Like, they're small, and they're just cool looking, and they're quite cute as well, I can't lie. There's some very adorable minifigs I've got. I've got a lot of the Disney ones. I'm a big Disney fan. Surprisingly, I've not actually... I think I'm going to live stream it, but the Disney Speedstorm game, I quite like that. But, like, I don't know, just collecting Disney, Lego, Marvel, Disney, Star Wars minifigs is always quite fun. I don't have many other sets outside of those themes. I have one Sonic the Hedgehog set, as I am a bit of a Sonic nerd. But at the same time, I don't really have much. I will get one of the new Batmobiles next year, because I want to build it as I'm waiting for the game, and also, you know, it comes with a pretty cool Batman minifig, so I'll get one. I wanted to get the animated series set, but there was just too many Marvel sets coming out that I wanted more. At least with this one, I don't have any interest in buying the smaller Daily Bugle. I'd rather get the big one. And also the big Iron Man. As amazing as it looks, I don't have an interest in collecting really big ones like that. If I had the C-3PO from Star Wars, I'd probably pair it next to that. But truthfully, I'm not really that interested in collecting big buildable figures. If I got it as a gift, then I'd love it. I'd absolutely adore it, but I wouldn't personally buy it myself. There's certain sets which I would love to have, but I just wouldn't pay for. But yeah. I'm actually thinking of buying a Lego set before my graduation. Yeah, I love flying around this game. I like how the sound is a lot quieter when he flies around. It's not as loud and as like aggressive in this game. Where is...
He got away.
Oh, that one there.
You're a lifesaver.
There you
The
are.
bag has all the skeleton keys for the raft in it.
Wow, that was some decisive action you took there. I can't even decide what kind of...
Aha, Kang the Conqueror.
You really nailed it. Excellent work.
I forgot he was in this game. I didn't like his look in the second game. I just didn't really like the second game that much, if I'm being brutally honest. I don't know, I just thought it was quite underwhelming.
That's Steve Rogers. He's an awful lot like the skinny kid I used to know.
Right. That's cool. This is... Oh, that's really cool. It deflects off him. That's cool. Oh, so there's a tank as well. Okay. Komodo. That's cool. Oh yeah, this game also has the Defenders, which I thought was pretty sick. Let's have Daredevil and Jessica Jones. Yeah, Daredevil can actually swing in this game as well, which is pretty cool. He can't crawl though, which... Oh wait, no he can. Never mind, that's pretty cool. That's really cool. He can't do the, like, super jump. That was it.
Sorry to interrupt your little trip across the city, but the police are on their way to a crime in progress near you. Maybe you can beat them to it.
I can't wait to see Jessica Jones back in Daredevil Season 2. Born Again Season 2. That's going to be so cool. I'm actually, like, buzzing for that.
High-quality heroics back there. You sure left those bad guys quaking in their boots. You see what I did there?
Oh, I forgot Jessica Jones can fly in this game, because it went off her, like, comic book origin rather than TV show. They included her because of the TV show, but didn't use the TV show as, like, any inspiration for a design, which is why she's got the classic Jules look. Which I like they paid homage to in the show. But I know they'd never touch, like, for real. Yeah. I think we're going to leave it there. We're going to leave it there, because I'm seeing my group chat is popping off a bit. Nothing bad or anything. It's just stuff about rehearsals tomorrow, so I feel like I should probably attend to that. So we are going to leave it there. Massive thank you for, you know, anyone who's, for Soap Centre City who's tuned in, and just anyone watching the VOD. I do hope you're all well, and stay safe, and I'll see you soon. Alright, take care guys. Bye-bye.